Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you're listening to No BS Job Search Advice Radio. This is a time where I'd like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about some element of job search, because I believe that job hunting doesn't have to be hard or difficult or painful, or really take that long for that matter. The skills needed to find a job are very simply different than the skills needed to do the job, and most of you make the mistake of never learning those additional skills. It's not like if you learn those skills, you're going to instantly be hired. Obviously, you have to be competent, but they are different skills, and you need to learn them over the course of your career in order to be effective. And that's where this show comes in handy, as does Job Search Radio, let's just stick with those two, No BS Job Search Advice Radio and Job Search Radio, both of which you can listen to in iTunes. You can watch this show in YouTube later on. This one in particular will be useful as a video, just because it's a show about Skype. So this show is brought to you by consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site will charge you for is if you want to feature a job or a resume, it is a whopping $10 for 30 days. Ooh, so expensive. And if you're going to feature more than one position, the price drops down very radically, and they extend the number of days the position will appear on the site. So again, that's consultingassignments.com, and that's a site that I use. I find it very helpful fulfilling consulting assignments. So the other sponsor for today's show is Audible. Audible is a service where you can listen to audiobooks from your device. I'm rolling up my sleeves. It's a service where you can download audiobooks that you can listen to on any device. And I know that you like audio because you listen to my podcasts and probably others on a variety of different sources. And, frankly, listening to audiobooks is a great way to learn, to be relaxed, to be comfortable. I listen to audiobooks myself, and they are a terrific device. So if you'd like to try out Audible, there's a trial that they have, a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. And you'll receive a free audiobook if you use that link. So again, audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. Now, this is a show about video interviewings, and this is about some of the mechanics to set you up for video. That's why I was saying, for the purposes of this show, this is one of those that it's better if you watch, but I'll explain things as vividly as I can to those who will just listen to it. So if you wind up wanting to watch it, just go to YouTube. There'll be a title for today's date that relates to video interview tips. Now, let's look at how to set things up for a video interview. So, first of all, a Skype account, Facetime account, or you're working with an employer that is going to set up a video service for you through some service that they contract with. However it works, you're going to be sitting at your computer, or you're going to be using your phone. I'm going to reach over and just get my phone. There we go, phone. So that this way you'll have Skype or whatever the item is that is going to be required of you for the interview. Now, if you're going to use your computer, I think that's actually preferable for one reason. Two reasons. First of all, you don't have to hold it there in front of you for lengthy periods of time and have it jiggle. It's going to be stationary. But the second reason, and this is a subtle one that a lot of people don't think of, is where are you going to keep your notes in front of you? Now, if you're going to do a video interview and keep them on something down below, you're going to be looking down with some regularity, and that's going to let the interviewer know that you are looking down and you do have notes around you. So since you have an opportunity, even in a video interview, to work with notes, a computer allows you to use the monitor as a place where you can put Post-its as a reminder. It can be reminders about different points that you want to cover about your experience. It could be reminders that you use about how to look at the camera or not look at the camera. So for example, if I'm looking away for a second, I want to have a note on that side reminding me, look at the camera as a focal point for me. So always be looking at the camera. If they're speaking to you, you may want to come down and look at the panel or the window on the screen where they are. They'll understand that you're looking at them at that point, even if it's not readily apparent to you. Also, there are places on the screen you can look at without necessarily looking at the camera. So, for example, I'm right now looking at a camera, and if I drop down below a little bit, it still gives the impression that I'm looking at the camera even though I'm looking at the screen. So you need to practice with someone once or twice to make sure that you have the mechanics of working with the camera down properly. So again, notes around the monitor, practice by looking at your screen, I'm doing that now, or looking up at the camera itself. Again, I'm trying to have you see the difference in my eyes by looking at the camera and looking down at the screen for a second. Looking at the screen is not a problem. Looking up at the camera is preferable. So that's one point. Second point is about your backdrop. Now, I did a video recently where I used the bookcase behind me as my backdrop. And what someone would be able to see are photos of my son that frankly might distract them. Imagine for a second that what you have is that kind of wall and a painting back there, or that kind of wall and it's busy print. What you want to do is have something relatively simple and flat in front, behind you. So this way it doesn't wind up being a distraction. I know you know about not having a mess behind you, and certainly not a mess that's visible on camera. But you want to have a clean impression behind you, have it be somewhat pleasant. So I'm hoping that you find, for example, this backdrop that I'm using right now pleasant, with the bookcase, the plant, the clear wall behind me. I'm using just lights from my window on my face, so it illuminates the screen very nicely and allows you to see those lovely eyes of mine very clearly. So again, look at your lighting. Allow yourself to practice in advance at the time of your interview to see what kind of light that you're going to have in that room. So if the light doesn't cast as it's doing on my face right now, you want to create light that does. You don't want bright light in your face like you're having spotlights on you, because I think that'll hurt your eyes throughout the interview. You'll wind up squinting, and that's a different kind of problem. You want to be comfortable with the actual appearance, be able to look at the camera clearly and comfortably. You don't want to be wearing a baseball cap like I am right now. You want to avoid headphones. I'm just doing two things right now. I'm doing the podcast for Blog Talk Radio, and I'm also doing a video that some folks are watching live now, and people will be able to watch on YouTube later on. So you want to have a clear backdrop. You don't want to be using headphones if you could avoid it. Also want to mention in terms of your wardrobe. Now, you wouldn't really know this unless you were looking carefully, but I'm wearing a striped shirt today, and I wore this intentionally so that you can get a sense of how poorly this looks. Now, for some of you, you're kind of oblivious to the fact that, when I'm moving a little bit, the stripes are moving as well. You don't want that to happen. What you want to be doing is wearing a solid as part of your wardrobe, so that this way there's nothing that's going to distract people. There's nothing that's going to be causing them to go, what is he wearing? You want to keep a simple impression. And as you're answering questions, there are things that you can do. Now, I'm doing something with my hands right now like I would on an actual interview. So if I were being on an interview, or I was meeting with someone, I was sitting in the chair opposite someone, I'd have my arms on the armrest. I might speak with my hands because I'm very comfortable doing that. And I would always be keeping them away from the appearance of crossing my mouth. So here I'm sitting with my elbow of my left hand on my desk. I'm using my hand as a way of creating emphasis points, but I'm not doing anything to block my mouth. You can do the same kind of thing. And if, for example, you're on a video interviewing, again, you're sitting at a desk, you can frame your face with your hands. Just do it to the outside and kind of low, because if you bring them up too high, they're going to be more forward than your face, and they're going to wind up being distracting. And I did something to demonstrate the distraction for someone, for anyone who's watching this. When all is said and done, what you want to be doing is maintaining physical control while looking directly at the camera answering questions. You want to be wearing solid clothes, have nothing distracting behind you, and before you go on camera, take a sip of water, get yourself pumped up, become excited, because when you're excited, that enthusiasm just comes out. And for those of you who are watching, when I was trying to illustrate excitement, a big smile came on my face. Never, ever hesitate to smile when you interview. So those are a couple of basic things I want to get across for today's show. I hope you find them helpful for your next video. Oh, yes, I forgot one detail. For your Skype ID, pick out something that's, quote, normal. You don't want to have dumb screen names because you do have to turn them over to the other party for contacting you. So if your normal Skype handle will be something very casual. Mine is the Big Game Hunter, which goes along with my branding. You may want to have something like your name or first initial of your first name, your full last name. If that's already taken, you might have your city following it. NYC for the New Yorkers, LA for those in Los Angeles. A screen name like that will go a long way toward keeping it simple and not causing people to be distracted with one of those quirky names. So that's my advice for this show. I hope you found it helpful. I also want to encourage you, come over to thebiggamehunter.us and go exploring, because I have a lot of content there that will help you with your job search. So again, the site is thebiggamehunter.us. Come over to the website and go exploring, because there's content that you can watch, read, and listen to at the site. A few more things. First of all, if your current firm is trying to hire someone, send me an email at the address below. Actually, let me do it differently. Send me an email at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Let me know who to contact and whether I should mention your name. I'd love to help your firm staff positions. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you're a third-party recruiter or in a country known for scams or spam. Finally, this is a new service from me, and I've launched it in the last week. I think it's going to be very helpful to many of you. Before you go into a salary negotiation, contact me for preparation. It's money well worth spending, because frankly, most of you are like babes in the woods when you go into a negotiation, even if you have a third-party recruiter representing you. You want to be as well prepared as possible, given that you've spent so much time working to get this job. So order that service at my website, and I'll be back in touch and talking with you about it after you've placed the order. So this is Jeff Altman. Hope you have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate. Take care.